Well, hi everyone. Isn't it about time I did an oracle session on the riots or the riot at the Capitol? Yeah, I wanted to do this because I needed understanding because the whole situation just did not make sense to me. Um, if you, a group of people, if you were truly planning to riot and try to do a coup or make a coup or trying to coup something, um, what happened was a very poorly executed event. It just didn't look, nothing felt right to me. It just seemed really bad planning. Yeah, it didn't seem right. So I wanted to ask the sage if he could clarify a few things and answer some questions, hearing things like, oh, is Antifa involved? Was their intention? I wanted to know, just find some clarity. And I did, and I hope it gives some clarity to you. Just a very short session. So I just began with, did the rally goers intend on storming the White House? And I kind of got, something's wrong with your question. Something wrong? Yes. Too broad? Yes, mostly. Then I just started again. Most supporters were simply there to support President Trump. Yes, solid yes. So most of the supporters there were there just to have a rally and support their president. And then I started asking about, what about were white supremacists and anti-government people kind of, now I'm talking about who started the riots. White supremacist anti-government people, warm, meaning there were some fringe people that had plans, a handful of people, maybe one or two, that had plans to do some damage or just wreak some havoc. And, honestly, while I don't condone, I don't know if I have authority to condone or uncondone, but of course I don't condone any of the destruction and the violence and all of that stuff. But I totally understand where these people are coming from. They're angry as hell because they've never once truly had their voices heard. Like all the conspiracy theorists out there, or even truthers, or whatever you want to call them, they simply never get their voices heard. And this enrages people. So I totally understand why some of the fringe people did what they did. Just, maybe they could have done it better. Staged a sit-in or something. I don't know. Okay. Let me see here. And then I kind of asked, in trying to figure out how did the riots get started, or how did this whole thing happen? And I asked, were there foreign elements that were spurring on the riots? And I kind of got a warm, like I'm getting close. And I asked, was it always the intention of some Trump supporters to riot and do damage? And I got yes, yes, yes. It was always the intention of some of those fringe elements, those white supremacist, anti-government folks, to just go in and do damage, just because they're angry, they hate the government, they just wanted to do damage, okay? These people weren't necessarily about supporting Trump. They're just angry. And part of the Trump movement, but just on the fringe. But it wasn't the massed majority of why the Trump people were there, okay? So we have to kind of separate those groups. Let me see here. Can we say that Trump spurred on the rioters? And I got a real warm, maybe, but what I felt was he didn't spur them on. We can't blame him for other people's actions, right? There was an influence, but you can't blame Trump. Then I asked, was Antifa involved or participating in the riots? And I got a hot yes, 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 yes. Moving on. And then I thought, oh, there must be some other foreign elements in this. Was the FBI, CIA, or some government authority, some government group infiltrating that spurred on and participated in the riots? Yes, yes, yes. So while there were some Trump supporters, fringe Trump supporters that wanted to go in and do stuff, these other elements were also acting to create more mayhem and the image of the bad Trump supporter. Okay, let me see here. You know, there was some talk about people because there was this guy with ties, zip ties, and, you know, were they going to take people hostage? Was it plans by the Trump supporters to take people hostage? No. Plans by the foreign element to hold hostage. We're getting some. Guy with the zip ties was kind of a lone rogue element, Warm. And then what I finally understood was these were all kind of plants that were carrying zip. Like, who's going to walk around with a bundle of zip ties? I mean, come on, how obvious can you be? That these are part of the, whoever was infiltrating to show these, to give you the illusion of someone was going to come in and take Nancy Pelosi hostage or Mike Pence hostage. Okay, so that's what was going on. They were creating an illusion, a false flag, if you will. So I asked about all the bombs that were planted around. Were the bombs planted by those so-called foreign elements like CIA? I don't know who these foreign elements are, but nothing to do with the Trump supporters. And I got a hot yes, 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 yes. Once again, to create a false illusion of what was happening. False and illusion, same thing. So what was the plan of all these foreign elements? Was it the plan to make Trump look bad? Nope, wrong direction. Plan to remove Trump from office? Nope, wrong direction. Plans, it was the reason for all of this infiltration was to discredit Trump supporters. Yes. I asked if the Democratic Party was involved. I got nope, going in the wrong direction. And then I asked, those involved, these foreign elements go way beyond the Democratic Party. Yes. So we'll never know. No one will ever know. They're the behind the scenes people, I guess the deep state, whoever they are. Anyway, what else did I ask? I asked about the Capitol Police. Were they intentionally lax and allowed the rioters in? Yes. Back to why these foreign elements did what they did. So they wanted to totally discredit Trump supporters as a bulk. I think they managed to do that based on all the other readers reading about this. Their intense anger and hatred towards the Trump supporters is way out of line. Okay, they need to dig deeper. Okay, in my humble opinion. So these foreign elements, do they feel that they have accomplished their mission? Yes, yes, yes. And I asked that question because if they didn't feel like they accomplished their mission, will they incite more violence or do more false flags? So they feel like they have totally discredited Trump and his supporters and all that sort of stuff. No need for any more action. So I asked, at this point in time, I'm not trying to dig into the future and predict, do you see Trump supporters rioting at other times? And I got a no. And this is one of those weird things where the dice landed on an angle, but it was like no, unknown, still up in the air, but the energy right now is of a no. Could change, right? I asked, are we, the American people, the US, better off without Trump as president? Yes. Just had to ask. At this point in time, will the inauguration go off just fine? Yes. So I hope that was informative. It was helpful for me. And we just cannot lump all people, Trump supporters, into this hateful, it's just terrible the way we just are so black and white. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. It does seem like the plan of the deep state or whoever this foreign element that was involved, they're succeeding in brainwashing you into hating the other side. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you felt it was informative.